Israel strikes back in its first military response to Iran since last weekend's attack. And the 12-person jury is selected in former President Trump's hush money trial. The morning rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Friday, April 19th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. Israeli forces have struck back against Iran following the barrage of drones and missiles launched last weekend toward Israel. The attack coming early Friday morning in Iran, but neither side is saying much in the aftermath. Iranian officials said its anti-aircraft systems fired at 3 small drones near its airbase and nuclear site in the province of Isfahan. The Iranian army chief said explosions heard in the sky were related to the shooting of air defense systems at suspicious objects, adding no damage has been reported. The United Nations International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed no damage to Iran's nuclear sites after the incident. Iran closed its airports after the attack, but they have since reopened. While Israel has yet to speak on the attacks on Iran, several officials from Israel, Iran, and the U.S. have all confirmed the strike to news outlets in what would be Israel's first military response to Iran's assault that saw around 300 missiles and drones fired at Israel on Saturday, with 99% of them being intercepted. Iran's first direct attack on Israel was in response to a suspected Israeli airstrike on Iran's embassy in Syria earlier in the month that killed 7 officials, including a top general. For the better part of a week, Israel has said it was planning to retaliate for Iran's actions, despite the U.S. and its allies advising against it. An Israeli official told The Washington Post this attack was to show Iran that Israel had the ability to strike inside the country. An Iranian official told Reuters that Iran has no plans to respond to Israel's attack. More than 100 students were arrested Thursday at Columbia University during a pro-Palestinian protest on the campus's main lawn. This coming just one day after the university's president was questioned on Capitol Hill over anti-Semitism on campus. The arrest happened as New York City police in riot gear dismantled a makeshift tent city that had been set up by the protesters without school permission. University President Minouche Shafik requested NYPD's assistance to remove protesters from campus, citing the encampment as a clear and present danger to the university's operations. In a statement to the Columbia community, Shafik announced the suspension of all students participating in the protest, expressing regret over their refusal to resolve the situation peacefully. Barnard College suspended 3 students, including the daughter of Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar, over their involvement in the ongoing protest. The protest started on Wednesday during Shafik's congressional testimony. The historic criminal trial of former President Donald Trump has seated its full jury. The judge saying, "We have our jury," after the 12th juror was selected during day 3 of the trial in New York on Thursday. 1 alternate was chosen, 5 more still need to be selected. The judge said he is hopeful jury selection will wrap today. Day 3 began with 2 of the 7 jurors selected earlier in the week being dismissed, one telling the judge she was not sure if she could be impartial after friends and family questioned whether she was a juror. The second juror was excused after questions arose about whether he answered truthfully on if he had ever been accused of a crime. Prosecutors finding news stories showing someone with the same name once being arrested for tearing down right-leaning political posters. The judge replaced the 2, then selected 5 others to complete the jury, including a speech therapist, a former wealth manager, a physical therapist, and a product development manager. Opening statements could begin on Monday. FBI Director Christopher Wray is warning that hackers linked to the Chinese government have infiltrated U.S. infrastructure and are waiting for, quote, just the right moment to deal a devastating blow. Speaking at the Vanderbilt Summit on Modern Conflict and Emerging Threats on Thursday, the FBI director said the hacking group called Volt Typhoon has gained access to numerous American companies in critical sectors like telecommunications, energy, and water. Despite Microsoft and Google also linking the hackers to China, earlier this week, a spokesperson from the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that Volt Typhoon is not affiliated with China's government, but is a criminal ransomware group. In his Vanderbilt remarks, Wray detailed the Chinese Communist Party's drive for power motivates their strategies, including the theft of intellectual property and technologies crucial to future economies.
I'm talking about everything from indiscriminate hacking to economic espionage to transnational repression to fentanyl and the precursor chemicals that are coming out of China and ending up in our communities. What we're facing today is the CCP throwing its whole government into undermining the security of the rule of law world.
On the same day, Netflix announced it has added more than 9 million subscribers in the first 3 months of the year amid its crackdown on password sharing. The streaming giant said it would no longer be reporting subscriber numbers each quarter. The 9.3 million additional subscribers far surpassed estimates, bringing the global total to nearly 270 million subscribers, a record high. The company also reported over $9 billion in revenue, a 15% increase from just a year ago. Netflix says it is switching to now only announcing subscriber additions when major milestones are reached. Netflix telling investors that the company's success should be assessed based on its revenue and operating margins, adding that time spent using the service is the best way to gauge customer satisfaction. Finally, this morning, one of the most anticipated albums of all time is now available, breaking records even before its midnight release just hours ago. Spotify reporting Taylor Swift's 11th studio album, The Tortured Poets Department, broke its record for the most pre-saved album in the streaming service's history. Swift's latest album dropped overnight, with the Grammy winner surprising Swifties by announcing this release is a double album, sharing 15 extra songs with fans at 2 a.m. Swift's 2022 album Midnights spent 6 weeks at #1 on the Billboard charts and earned the Grammy for Album of the Year. These are your top stories for this Friday. Unbiased, straight facts. That's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here on Monday. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great weekend.